Something that I absolutely love doing on this channel is taking a look at community opinions. Today, I am going to be reacting to your hottest takes in Fortnite. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. We are going to be making a series of videos on these hot take videos. So if you have a hot take, drop it in the comment section down below to this video. And for the next one, this is where I will be taking the pool of hot takes from. Let's get started with Son of the King 316. Hot take. Take money out of this game in terms of paying players. Millions spent on paying players should go back instead into the game and to the employees who make the game in the first place. And get rid of cups as well. Paying players at the end, I bet my top dollar you'll see a massive drop in cheaters of the game if money wasn't involved. Do prizes of value and not just cash and direct deposit. So stupid. I wouldn't mind if they took a little bit and brought it back to the employees and brought it back to the teams at Epic Games. I would like to see things like if Epic Games were to have like public bonuses for some special team of devs who like help Ballistic or something along those lines. That I would be here for, but I am a big fan of the competitive side of Fortnite. I love that there are these giant cash prize pools. If you wanted to knock that down a little bit and then, you know, put the money elsewhere, I would be totally down for that too. But something that I am absolutely for is to have value prizes. I love when Epic Games does that, and I think that they should continue to do that, and it's probably not exactly too difficult on Epic Games' end to do so. I kind of agree with that one, kind of disagree with that one. Let's continue on to Taylor Kirk. I'll have a hot take against you. Fortnite should not have Chrome in the game ever again. It was fun once, but I wouldn't want to see it return. Oh, that is a hot take against me. If you guys happen to be a little bit new to the channel, I am a big fan of the Chrome mechanic. Chrome splashes are something that I do believe, and excuse me if you can hear my notification over there. It's Cyan, you're interrupting my video. Sorry. Something that I have always believed is that Chrome splashes should be something that is part of the loot pool. I thought the mechanic was absolutely amazing, but I don't know if this is necessarily a hot take because I think the hot take is over on my end because not a lot of people agree with me, but most people probably don't want to see the Chrome in the game again. I just love that mechanic. I love that you could go through walls. I love the Chrome splashes. Like, I loved all of that. Let's continue on to BRW. Chapter 2 is better than Chapter 1. It added many features that are still in the game to this day, and it tried many unique features that never returned, and that's why I respect Chapter 2 so much. I absolutely agree that Chapter 2 is better than Chapter 1. It's tough to say because I've also had some of my favorite seasons and favorite moments in Chapter 1, but if you were to put the two together, I did like Chapter 2 more. From the storyline, to the events, to the seasons, to, like you said, trying new things, unique features, updates, Chapter 2 is a very monumental chapter for the game, and for the true hardcore Fortnite fans, I would say that it had most of what we like to see throughout a lot of Chapter 2. Of course, we took a couple dips over in Primal, but then you could argue, like, Chapter 1 had its bad seasons too. People just kind of ignore that. I do agree that Chapter 2 was better than Chapter 1. Let's continue on to Garm FR. Hot take. Chapter 5 Season 2 and Season 4 are good seasons. Sure, Zeus was done horribly, and the ending to Doom's story was awful. But overall, the seasons were some of the most fun experiences in Fortnite history for me. Very fun loot pools, even past the nerfs. All of the mythics were still fun to use with and go wild with. Nobody can ever convince me that they're bad. I do not believe that they are bad seasons at all. They're just, Chapter 5 was not personally for me. I struggled to have as much fun as I used to, like with Fortnite, with the attachments, the bullet drop, things like that. But there were absolutely great things to have fun with. I think that every season of Fortnite was actually a good season. I don't think that Fortnite has ever had a bad season. I just think that it's like when we're ranking Fortnite seasons, it's like ranking them from C tier to S tier, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing in the D tier. So I will agree with you that they were good seasons. For me personally, I didn't enjoy them as much as, for example, Garm did, but yeah, there's absolutely stuff that you could have fun with. So I do agree with that hot take. Let's continue on to Adam Cooks. Fortnite is trying to sell too much items. The item shop is way too cluttered with random stuff nobody wants, such as Lego, collabs, guitars, and shoes. All of this makes the game feel as if it cares more about selling you stuff than actually expressing yourself. Well, that's the point of the business, is to sell stuff, is to make money. So I don't care if that's like, if obviously Epic Games wants to make money, right? I don't care about that. That's the point of business. I don't, while I do agree that the item shop is way too cluttered, it's too much to scroll through, I would personally like it if they were sectioned off like they used to have with, like, oh, if you were on Fortnite Festival, then you can see the festival pass. But I understand why it's structured the way it is. They want you to see everything. They want you to purchase everything. And as time has gone on too, I've been more open to it. They've bought things like the Crocs. I cannot believe Epic Games, and at first, like when the instruments and the shoes first came out, I was like, not until I absolutely love something, but I can't see myself buying anything. I bought the Crocs. I bought the Linkin Park music pack. And I'm somebody who, like, doesn't play Festival a lot, man. So I get why they did it, and it's for people like me who like, hey, I might see something that I like and then I'll buy it, and that does happen to people. It's understandable, but I really did like how it was in Chapter 1, waiting for like a big rotation. It's like, oh my god, this skin actually came back. I loved waiting for the item shop rotations, things like that, and that we don't have anymore, but I don't think that they're trying to sell too many items. I just do miss how the item shop used to be personally. Let's continue on to the best bathwater, 8004. Epic should never listen to the community about any topic ever. I have always agreed with this. I have always agreed with this. The online Fortnite community does not know what they want. And I know, before you comment down below in this video, you specifically may be able to give constructive criticism, but for the vast majority of the online community, they are not capable of doing that. If Epic Games really wants to listen to the community, then do something like they're doing the Ballistic. Have the in-game surveys. Get the player base idea there after they're done playing with the experience. Hey, how did you feel about the Ranger AR? Things like that. That's the way to go about it, not to go on social media and listen to all the people, because typically the people who are on social media are going to be more negative, just whining about everything. Let's continue on to Zolt FR. Hot take. The Metaverse is the best thing to happen to Fortnite. It has been amazing. There are so many modes to pick from. If you get bored of one, that's fine. You have 5 other modes to switch to. It'll only keep expanding. I personally hope we get more collab modes. I'm excited for Disney mode as a Marvel fan, and I would be down to see them make a permanent Godzilla related mode. The possibilities for it are endless. The teams for each mode have done a phenomenal job, and the amount of content we have access to is insane. Literally, no game does it like Fortnite. I completely agree with this. I am a very big fan of, if you do not like it, don't play it. So if you don't like some of the Metaverse modes, you can go on and play another mode. Reload is what really kept me engaged with Fortnite in Chapter 5. As I just mentioned, Chapter 5, I didn't have a ton of fun with BR. Like, I still had fun, but like compared to what Fortnite used to be, right? Reload kept me in the game. I didn't feel like playing Battle Royale. Reload's there, and I can imagine that people could have that experience with a lot of different modes. And as time goes on, as Epic continues to flush these out, as Discovery gets better over time, yes, there are issues right now. Down the road, this is going to be amazing. In my opinion, it already is amazing, and I completely agree with what Zolt had to say at the end. The possibilities for it are endless. The teams for each mode have done a phenomenal job, and the amount of content we have access to is insane. Literally, no game does it like Fortnite. I completely agree with that hot take. It's probably my best one that we've taken a look at so far, but we do have more hot takes to take a look at, guys. Let me pause you on the video for just a second. With these videos, I had been advertising my supporter creator code, so if you are not using a supporter creator code in the item shop, I ask that you consider using my code Clen. I am doing my very best, grinding as hard as I possibly can on YouTube to be the sole provider of my family. I want my wife and my daughter, my future children, to live the best life that they can possibly be. This has been helping. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's continue on to Dijon Mustard. Here's a hot take. I don't like build mode because it makes the overall visual presentation of the game unappealing. Epic puts a lot of work into their environmental designs and the atmosphere and immersive elements of the game. In build mode, after a couple minutes, everything about the environment looks identical, with everything on screen being the exact wooden, metal, brick wall textures. I mostly play video games for the same reason I watch movies. I like the visual stimulation of seeing cool things happening. I like seeing my character run around the environment that Epic has built and have interactions as if I am in control of a cinematic experience playing out. Overriding the visual experience with the most basic wooden wall texture until all you can see is wood is visually boring and unappealing. Everything eventually ends up looking identical to the point where if you were to watch gameplay clips from 10 different fights, you wouldn't be able to tell what clip was from what fight based on the gameplay alone. This is the reason real reason, why a zero build is superior. That's very interesting, and I've never actually thought about it that way, and I'm somebody who really likes the design. I like the immersive elements, the atmosphere that Epic creates. I completely agree with that, and I find myself admiring new POIs all of the time and just looking around. That's something that I do when I play video games. However, I don't know if I want to say one mode is actually better than the other because they're for two different types of player bases, right? I really like the way the build mode game just functions. I like the build mechanic a lot, and I personally have a lot of fun with it. I can enjoy the atmosphere and also enjoy the same wooden fights, but I completely understand where Dijon is coming from in saying that. Very interesting take. Very interesting. I don't think one mode is superior. I'd love to know what you guys think about that down below, but I totally get that. Let's continue on to Elk6603. Hot take. Boons are a lame replacement for augments. There are only 3 and yes, are more balanced, but the augments were a good way to change up the game. I am always shocked when I talk about augments on this channel and how many people are actually happy that augments are no longer in the game. That's totally fine. It's just surprising. I completely agree with that. I thought augments were fantastic. I didn't really like boons. I would describe them as a lame replacement for augments. I do agree with that. Solid hot take. You thought it was Wahare had this to say. Hot take, people don't usually actually care about the people affected when they talk about the layoffs at Epic. They're just looking for a reason to be upset, and that's an easy target when they're mad at Epic. I'm sure that I've said this before on the channel. I so agree with this. I hate virtue signaling so much. It's so true. There's so many people that are like so against Epic Games, so against Tim Sweeney, and they use the layoffs just as an argument. They couldn't actually care less about the people laid off. I wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah, there's a ton of people out there who definitely care about the layoffs. I really do believe that, but there are so many people online that talk about the layoffs, and I'm like, dude, I just know that you could not give two craps about the people losing their jobs and their families. You're just using it to have an argument against Epic. Are you spitting my own hot take at me over here? Let's continue on, though, to Steve GC6MT. Hot take, Clen and Clark are by far the two best Fortnite YouTubers in the commentary space. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And I will say, there are fantastic channels out there, and Clark is absolutely one of them, guys. If you have not watched Clark Clint Gaming, which most of you on this channel probably have, go check it out. Actually, for the people we regularly collab with on the channels, you can find their links to their channels in the description down below. And I also made a video about every single Fortnite YouTuber that I watch and why you should watch them as well. You can find that video. I'll try to remember to put it in the end screen, but no promises as I'm speaking about this, but I really appreciate that compliment. Thank you very, very much. I don't necessarily agree that I'm the best, but I'm happy that somebody thinks I'm the best. It's a very, very nice compliment. Let's continue on to Grookymon. My hot take, Chapter 3 Season 3 is the best season ever created. I thought this at the time of release, not after realizing it was Mustard's finale. Chapter 3 as a whole is the best chapter made, and I had the most fun playing it. The collabs, themes, and battle passes were incredible, with two of my favorite all-time skins being from those passes. The lore was insane and so well written. I will forever cherish it and the unique gameplay mechanics implemented. It's sad we most likely won't get a Chapter 3 OG. I completely disagree with Chapter 3 Season 3 being one of the best seasons ever created, or if, like, is that being the best season ever created. However, Chapter 3 as a whole is up there for my favorite chapters. It is so difficult to rank my favorite chapters because you have Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 that were all so good in my opinion, and Chapter 6 is probably going to be up there too, man. I don't know. It's so tough to rank all these chapters, but for Chapter 3 Season 3, weakest season of the chapter, I loved the rest of Chapter 3. But Chapter 3 Season 3, I do disagree with that one, okay? I have to disagree with that one, but Chapter 3 as a whole was great. Let's continue on to Site 19 series. Hot take, Remixed was overhated. Everyone was full on hating it since they felt it was just an ad for the artist featured, and they were also saying it ruined fan favorite POIs. The Dog Pound was just an upgrade from the agency, Spaghetti Grotto was just the grotto, different textures. I'd even argue that Ice Isle wasn't even that bad of a change since it was still the same POI with some slight changes. The loophole was amazing, and even with the artist being on the map 90% of the maps, it was still the same. Also, for the people saying we still didn't get all of Chapter 2, shut the hell up. We never wanted to touch Primal again. Plus, in the latter seasons, the changes would have been hard to notice and do in an OG style season. Plus, it had an amazing finale, which in my eyes is one of the best events in the game. Overall, it was really overhated for no good reason. That's tough, because I personally didn't like Chapter 2 Remix, but the reason that I didn't like Chapter 2 Remix was mostly because of how many bots were there. It was ridiculous, the amount of bots that we were coming to. I was struggling to actually find real people in the game. That's what really hurt it for me. Other than that, like, I wouldn't say it might be overhated, because I was one of those people. I'd rather see Midas at the agency. I'd rather see Sky at the Shark. I don't want to see Ice Spice and Snoop Dogg. I don't mind them being in the game, but if we're talking about like going back to OG, I wouldn't call myself a hater of it, but I think they ruined something that had all of the potential in the world. To say it's overhated, maybe. Maybe. We're having some good hot takes today, guys. I'm enjoying making this video. Zal had this to say, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I personally don't want to see collab seasons anymore. When I'm not a very big fan of the IP they do a season around like Marvel, I get burnt out quicker than a normal season. Kind of just feel like they're running out of ideas for new seasons when they go with, let's just do a Marvel season. I'm sure it's fun when you're a fan of the IP they are collaborating with, but for me, it feels like I'm playing a normal season with a huge ad slapped on top of it. That's completely understandable, 100%, but I do think it's better now because of all of the other modes that are getting flushed out. Like, for me personally, if I don't end up liking the Star Wars season, I can go play Reload. But guys, please drop some hot takes down below in the comments for the next video. I will be including those hot takes, and if you wanted to watch that video of all of the YouTubers that I watch, and you should watch as well, because there are so many great ones that are so unknown, not mainstream, you can check out that video right here. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching the video, everybody. Take care.